Alright, so we should do another update, but now Steve is gonna hold the camera because I have to explain to him, because he was curious about the update and all the stuff. You've seen the turbo system, that's pretty much clear. It's all mounted, it's all finished, everything is with the gaskets under the manifold, so everything is in place as it will be when everything is pretty much finished. Obviously the oil lines, return lines, water pipes and all that stuff, but that's different topic. Today what we have to discuss is transfer case. Remember when I said transfer case, there's a chance that I don't see the space for 3 gears inside there. There's 2 of them, so this spins the opposite way. Probably I have to find out if there's something different inside the gearbox or not. Turns out everything works as traditional. So seeing the engine from behind, it spins anti-clockwise. So the output flange from the gearbox, which in this case is this gear inside there, I'm gonna show you in a minute, spins anti-clockwise. And there's only 2 gears here. Means this spins anti-clockwise and this spins clockwise. Which means we have 6 gears in reverse, 1 gear forward. Now, before we get to that, let's take this apart and show you how it works, which is pretty cool. As much as I brag about this, well, the engine, all the stuff is not really as good as it should be. It's actually Audi, not a Bentley. This is good. I like it. It's pretty beefy, pretty strong. This is the transfer case, sorry, the differential. And if you see, if I lift it, spins. If I put it down, it doesn't spin. What spins is the drive inside. This is actually the differential, is a torsion diff. This is the drive that comes directly, almost directly from the gearbox, and it spins one way and sends the power to the wheels that have less traction. If it's a torsion, it will do an opposite, but I don't know if it's torsion or not, or completely open, or we have to open up, which I don't have to. So there's a flange inside, there's a spline inside there. Have a look in the camera. If you spin it, this one spins faster because obviously this flange stays in place and that one spins twice as fast. Where that one drives this shaft here, and this shaft here, what it does, it sends the motion to the front differential. The way it does, I'll show you now. Let me take everything apart. Obviously has been taken apart already. There you go, beautiful gears. So we have 2 sets of this. This is the gear. We can remove this, no need it for now. This drives this, is one piece, and this gear obviously spins this way. It sends the motion to this gear over here, as beefy, and obviously sitting there, that grabs this outside and it spins obviously the differential. And then differential obviously decides where to put more power, to the back, to the front, or equally through this shaft, which then spins the prop shaft, the front prop shaft, which is actually inside the tube, so it's not external as usual on the transfer cases and all-wheel drive systems, but internal through that tube to the front of the diff. So if I spin it, the front diff spins, which is great. Oh, and this one, this is not a nut, this is just a drive for the oil pump. This is the oil pump, and this is kind of a sump because oil stays here, pick up and drives the oil through these pipes to the front of the from the front differential and back to send the oil to these gears. So now idea was to, one of the ideas, possibilities was to make a plate to replace all of this, remove all the gears and put the flange on this gear directly. So we're gonna have this gearbox as a rear wheel drive only, but we can't do it because this is too short, doesn't have a support bearing. If you machine a plate with a support bearing, we don't have enough space on the spline to hold the output flange for the prop shaft to send obviously the torque, the motion to the rear diff, because it's just too small. And when you put the foot down on this engine, it is gonna have enough torque to stop the earth rotation and send it all the way around. Maybe a tiny bit of exaggeration, but not too much. So this is not a reliable solution. Now at this point, obviously I'm obsessed with the oil on the floor. So at this point, what we're doing, rear wheel drive gearbox, right? So there's two options: EGT, GT. What do they call it? The sequential ones.
DSG.
No DSG. No, the race boxes. What they call the company? EGT, I think.
Don't know which ones you mean.
No, the sequential boxes. They're like fully billet.
Not DSG.
No, DSG is a standard one. Do you know what I mean? The ones they put in race cars.
DCT is the DCT is the BMW twin clutch.
I'm pretty sure. No, they're the aftermarket ones.
Oh, I don't know.
Sure. HGT.
Oh, HG. Oh, right. Yeah.
There you go. Brain working too much. So that was one, but you still need the clutch and etc. Blah blah. I was like, it's an old car. It's not really great. Have a sequential gearbox. I mean, you can do it.
It's cool, but yeah.
In this application, when you're mostly gonna cruise with a 1 inch noise in 5th gear on low RPM, it's like, okay, it could be a solution. Was the other solution? The other solution in my eyes was even better, using one of the American style auto boxes, fully mechanical, which is a good solution because they can handle the power. You can set the torque converter, like we say, to store at whatever power band we have, all the stuff. So that's a good solution. But you know, he's obsessed with the
fluffy paddles, yeah.
So that's not really. No, I'm saying not possible. It's possible because you can do it with the air actuators and all the stuff. But it's making stuff complicated in a pointless way.
Yeah.
Plus, again, it will mean I have to build an adapter plate, which I can do it if I have to. I'm not really keen on doing that because it's not really exciting. Plus, it's like kind of pointless. So I say, okay, what about we leave this gearbox here? It works with these engines. It works good. It's strong enough. It works with these ECUs, and you have your paddle shift. Okay. So we have the problem because the prop shaft spins the other way around. So we can we work on a diff? We say diff, you can flip it. If you flip it, there are different problems because now we have 6 gears in reverse. If you flip it upside down, you have 6 gears forward, but the diff, unfortunately, internally still works in reverse. The way the gears they function, they like curved, and they are designed to work going forward. That's why you put it reverse. When you put your foot down, you pick up some speed in reverse, it starts to wind. Now imagine you have 6 gears. You're doing 100 miles an hour, it's like the winding noise is going to be big, but the noise itself is not the problem, it's the sign of a problem if something is going on in the gearbox, in the differential is not wrong. So we can go about this, explain all that stuff, but it's just not good in a simple way. So we're not doing that. So okay. The last option, which seems to be at the beginning the most stupid, is to use the Bentley, which is Audi real diff, which works already the opposite way, but with the gears cut in the right way. Okay, so it works. Is it strong enough? Well, Bentley weighs about 15 tons by the way it feels. It's probably not going to weigh any more, on probably even a little bit more than the van once it's finished, or similar weight. So roughly doesn't have to do much more work, especially because you're not putting this van on a bigger tires. This is not going to offer, it's going to be road tires anyway, and small wheels. So it should kind of be alright. If it's not, it's 100 quid diff. So I think that is a risk we can run. But this is where the crazy shit starts, right? This thing is on a solid axle on the back. So how do you put a small diff? It means you have to do individual suspensions, individual arm suspension, like a Mack Person, okay? And since we have to do it on the front, he was like, it kind of makes sense to do it on the back. He was like, okay, but how did it work? How does it look like? I was like, you know what? It's hard to explain, and this was my mistake, right? And I said, oh, I'll show you, because I have my RC car. I'll show you how it works. That's why I got this outside. So this is independent suspensions. You got upper arm, lower arm, shocks in between, and they go up and down. And then I'll show him the pictures of the Ultra 4 buggies. You do, and you know him. that's what I want. It's like, yeah, obviously this is how they look like to make you understand the way they work. So
Yeah.
obviously here, we don't have much space. And obviously me understanding I was doing a mistake, he was already like, no, this is exactly what I want. I said, what do you mean what I want? He says, I want this to be there.
Oh no.
Like, I said, George, I mean, I know you're crazy, but he said, what? It's like, no, can you build this stuff and this on the back and on the front? It's like, do you know what that means, right?
He's basically building a barger buggy.
Now we're building a buggy chassis, you know what I mean, like Ultra 4, you know, race competition car chassis under your van. But the problem with him is like, the more complicated, the more, you know what I mean, crazy stuff, the more he likes it.
Yes.
And he was like, I don't care how much it's gonna cost, I want that. I want the van. It's like, George, this is a toy, do you understand this? He's like, yeah, but is it possible? Would it make sense? You say, well, sense doesn't really make sense anything here. So we passed that point of making sense. Would it work? Obviously, yes. Would it make sense as it will work better than now? Well, obviously, it's just an abomination of a job which nobody gonna use. He's like, well, it's gonna be cool, right? Like, yeah, okay. So this is the criteria we're working with, how cool it's gonna be. So we're stepping from, we're supposed to just to swap the engine to mid-engine, supercar engine, twin turbo system, all that stuff, to pretty much buggy chassis on the front. The problem is, it's not even that, because the chassis obviously here is very wide. So I only have about 15-20 centimeters space to make the arms. He's not happy with that. He wants this.
Yeah.
And this is like long arms.
Long
like,
arms right from the middle, yeah.
So it's like right from the middle. So I mean, I have to chop the full front and back section of the chassis and build them from scratch. Now you, at this point, you will say, well, can you just build a whole new chassis? At this point, yes, I could, but obviously this has to be road legal. So for the legal reasons, we have to keep a section of the original chassis to this to still be in the Econoline. You know what I mean? But underneath is full spec.
Fucking barger truck. Yeah.
It's,
so he's got to be competing in that in Mexico in a few years then.
Yeah, so it's like, but can we have the shocks in the middle like this? It's like, stop, this is a toy. It's like, yeah, but that's a toy as well. All right, I got your point. I got your point. You have to go inside his head and understand how it works. To be honest,
this is the madness. Is people wonder why this is being done.
Yeah.
This is exactly why it's being done. Because the customer is mental.
To be honest, there is no sense behind this. This is a hobby. I mean, I can afford one of these and it looks cool. He's lucky to be able to afford something like this in real life. And at some point I was like, you know what? I think I'm lucky as well because I can do stuff like this.
Yeah, you get that opportunity, I suppose.
So I'm happy with that. Does it make any sense or not? To me, yes, because I can do it and I would love to do something like this. And the result, it's not. And most of the time, a lot of people, like I would say 99% of people will be like, oh, this is stupid, why are you doing this, blah, 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 blah. This is fair point. However, because of people like this, like him, I would say like me as well, but they much better than myself. But because people like him have these crazy ideas and they're willing to spend the money, their life savings, whatever, I'm not getting into details with this. We have events like NEC, SEMA in America and stuff like this. When you see the crazy stuff, it's like, whoa, this is beautiful, this is crazy and beautiful. You can only dream of having or owning something like this. Where this is exactly what's happening. And thanks to this crazy minds, you know what I mean? So we can laugh about it now. We can say, oh, this is crazy, it doesn't make any sense. Well, it does. It's completely different perspective. But yeah, it is funny because at the moment when I took this off to explain him how dependent suspension works to, I want that in there. You know, it's like how quickly this shit escalated. I was like, George, this is already crazy. It's like, it was like, whoa, you don't want to do it? It's like, no, that's the problem, I do want to do it. It's like, I feel like he should choose someone else to do it, to say like, look, no, this is stupid, don't do it. You know what I mean? Keep your foot on the ground. No, I'm worse than him probably. You know, he
No.
can found it, I can build it, and
Done.
shit happens.
Yeah. So, yeah. It's no longer a camper van. It's now
gonna be
an
a buggy.
absolutely insane Econoline buggy.
Yeah, but you got chairs on the back, seats on the back for your kids.
Yeah. I think they're going to end up being cages and bucket seats at this rate, isn't it?
Most likely.
Yeah.
Now, it's a shame. What I would like to do is to actually make it kind of off-roady stuff, because obviously it's going to be like, you know, like competition off-road buggy stuff. It's not. It's going to be lower, so that the travel of the suspension, although there's the same spec, is going to be limited. It was like, yeah, I want to see on the airbag, so when I park up, I just want to drop it on the sump, and then all the stuff. So I would prefer to have it four-wheel drive and then bigger tires and actually walk as a buggy, but you know, it doesn't really matter. The spec is going to be the same, and at least the beauty that what he's got in mind is to make it as much sleeper as possible, even though it's not really possible, but keep it the same old school style outside as possible. So same bumper on the front, outside from long distance is just on the Econoline. And then you get close, it's like something's wrong about it. You go underneath, is a full-blown like competition buggy style chassis.
That's the thing, it will handle now at least. That's the thing.
And then you open the side door to see the seats, and you got a W12 twin turbo coffee table that powers it mid-engine. So yes, do you remember I said always a couple of days ago, Monday I was down, and I was like, alright, no, the excitement came back. This means there's a hell of a work. I mean, I think this is gonna be probably till end of this year.
It's gonna take a while to do that. It's a whole different fucking car.
We're designing and building the car from scratch now. Apart the body, everything, the chassis, the suspensions, the drive line, well, not the engine itself, but the turbo system and everything is like, oh, okay, all right. I'm kind of busy. So plus we have to pause this job soon because the engine should be in.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much now.
Soon, yeah.
Another exciting delivery from Billy's shop. Yeah. Oh. Have you seen all the sticker that says?
I know. I just took a photo.
Stop on the sticker. So I think again this is like a official collaboration now. If you got the pallets coming from America, says Juravsky Motorsport and stuff on the bottom. So there you go. It's time to unpack this baby. Let's see where it comes from.
Yeah, that's where, look, Performance Engine Solutions, Livonia, Missouri. Export places, Brighton, Missouri.
Missouri, yeah. There's a few quid here. This is gonna be exciting to open up. And then we wait for the second box. GM, original hologram, like you said, with the warranty. Genuine parts, GM. We like GM, genuine parts. With the warranty. With the warranty.
Another job of George's.
Job. This is another job. This is, we have to remove the van from the ramp for a couple of months probably.
Yeah, maybe.
Another job, I think is about technical version.
Yeah.
Not as crazy, but something cool as well. They're gonna keep it up now because they have to see it.
Yeah.
Stay and watch it.
But people will love that because that is crazy too. Just, it almost makes more sense compared to this, but it's still crazy.
Yes. A bit more sense, but
slightly more conventional, but not by much.
Well, conventional is like, yeah, all right, we
conventional if this conventional if this was a YouTube video.
Yes.
not normal life.
No, normal life.
Conventional if this was some mental YouTube video.
Yes.
But not normal. Yeah. You'd have seen things like this, but only on YouTube.
But how often you get this is I'm still can't get my head around it. How often you get the customers, you show him your RC toy buggy and you say, oh, can you build me one in real life and put it on my Econoline?
Exactly.
It's a campervan. How you even combine the two things together?
That's the kind of stupid shit I would do if I won the lottery, basically.
Yeah.
He's not won the lottery, but he's got that correct mindset. Like,
this is mad.
Yeah.
Do you know when I say I wish I had to, I probably wanted sometimes to go back driving the lorries. Before I finish with him, my license is going to expire. So.
Well, you do realise once these are all done, he'll get that Thunderbird out and he'll want like.
Oh yeah.
Especially because the thing is, when I saw it and I saw how low and wide and flat and whatever, I was like, oh my god, this would make some crazy thing for big speeds.
Yeah.
And his eyes sort of lit up and I was, oh god,
that's
here you
the
go
problem
again.
with him. Whatever you take, is like the crazy stuff you're gonna come out with is just like, let's do it.
I would love him to do that Thunderbird as a top speed, like a, you know, standing mile thing or something, because it looks so fucking slippery.
Crazy.
It's really, really stupid. It looks really, I know it's like a 60s car, but it's proper streamlined. It's amazing. But yeah, he's crazy. But it makes good content and it gives you a interesting job to do.
I bought this buggy with my brother. I think that was about, I'm not talking shit now, about 12, 14 years ago.
Oh yeah.
It's still fully working. It's like, it only has like 2-3 hours of working. Obviously I've smashed it all the stuff, it still works. And after 14 years, obviously, this is the purpose.
This is why we keep everything.
It's
because stuff always comes in handy in the end.
It's incredible.
Yeah. I use old bits of hose and shit that I've had lying around for the last 15 years. Thomas uses RC cars to explain stuff to customers.
To be honest, in my words, I can't even explain how crazy and quickly this escalated. I should actually have my camera yesterday and show it, because it's like, I can't explain, it was like a comedy show. Honestly, it was like, okay, I'll show you how it works, you know. So you got this suspensions, he was not even listening. It was like, whoa, that's cool, can I have that? He's like, no, I'm just trying to explain the way it works. Yeah, but can you build this in a night? He's like, no, hold on, I'm trying to. He's like, but can you? Can I have that in a bigger scale on there? It's like, wait, if I yes, but what, do you want it? You don't want to do it? Of course I want to do it. But he's like, were you serious? It's like, yeah. Fuck. It's,
job done.
But again, you can try to reproduce all this stuff, but it's not. I should have the camera yesterday. It will look like a proper comedy show. His excitement is like instantly lies the yes.
Yeah. Nothing else mattered anymore. It was just like this.
No. And to be honest, thanks to, again, like I said, thanks to people like this, we got these big shows. You know what I mean? Because
well, most stuff wouldn't fucking, you know, if people didn't have this kind of thing, most of the interesting shit on YouTube wouldn't happen. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
what will you drive? Everyone will drive Coasters.
Yeah, just normal stuff. Yeah.
You know?
I mean, there's that guy on that B is for Build guy's building a fucking Lambo into a big off-roader.
Yeah, I've seen that.
It's like, do you know what I mean? It's sort of, and these kind of things make no sense apart from, fuck it, if you feel like it, you know, go for it. And
why have you built it? Because you can.
Yeah.
Well, I got it. Renault Traffic Vivaro 4-wheel drive.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like, why have you done it?
Why not?
It's pretty much pointless. I don't have a use for it. But it's like, I can and I would like to, so I did. So obviously in this case, there's a bit of more funds. And
yeah, it's just a bigger budget. That's all it is. It's the same.
Exactly.
It's the same crazy ideas we have, just the shit we can't afford.
He can. That's the beauty. To be honest, I'm kind of lucky that, you know, he let me do it.
Yeah. It's like all these other builders. Like, you imagine all the people who, people like Ken Block and stuff. They're like, I want this built, and a company does it for him, and they get to do that and get paid for it. It's like, fair play.
Because to be honest, I would.
There could be worse things to do.
Mate, if I won the lottery, I would do this stuff just for the pleasure of doing it.
Exactly the same as me. Yeah.
So I'm living the dream, to be honest. I'm not working.
Yeah.
This is no work. I'm doing what I love to do, and someone actually paying me for this.
Yeah.
So, you know, plus to be honest, like how many times we say this kind of job, even if you have the skills to do it, you cannot do it if you don't love it. If you're not excited about it, it just doesn't work.
No.
You have to love it. In my case, I do. So there you go.
Yeah. Madness. And what's going to be next? Who knows?
And all of this comes from the transfer case that spins the other way around.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that, I didn't have to explain this. He haven't never noticed, because this was always hung on the wall behind it. It's like collecting dust and all that stuff. He will never notice this. The idea will never come to his mind. I will never have to explain it, and there you go. So what the odds?
Yeah.
What happens?
That is escalated quickly, to say the least, isn't it? It's like from a transfer case that spins the wrong way, all the way to a real life monster truck, buggy, crazy thing. What's that? There used to be a famous radio controlled car that was like one of these. Was it called Lunchbox? He's basically building a real. I better not show him pictures of that. He's going to make a replica. I think it's called Lunchbox. It's a real famous radio controlled car from like the 70s or 80s. An American van, yellow. I remember it. I'll have to look it up. I think.
What, like an SU replica?
Yeah, like I don't know if it was an Econoline. I'll have to look it up. It was made by like Tamyar or one of these companies, and it was one of their famous cars. It was called Lunchbox. I think they still make it now or remade it lately.
Wasn't a big tires off-road tires or normal one?
Fairly big, I think, but it looked like a normal yellow truck. We'll have to look it up. But yeah, he's pretty much building a one of them all of a sudden. So yeah, good times.
There you go. That's the update. That's pretty much it. What the fuck is going on here?
I'm making a
Mate, you have
70-year-old chassis a bit less shit.
So you're transferring the dirt from the chassis to you?
My face.
To you?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
It looks like you're enjoying yourself. I don't know, it's just like
It's not that enjoyable, no, but it's like, fuck it, needs doing.